Hello and good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of A Journey into the Mind with Francis Mann. Today, I would like to speak to you, or I will be speaking to you rather, about immortal consciousness. What it takes to realize in these days that we're losing so many lives with the coronavirus, what it means to be a soul, to be one with everything, one with God, nature, animal, the essence and the source of whom we are as human beings. But first, before I go into a little bit of a definition about immortal consciousness, I like to bring forth a thought about what is happening today with the coronavirus, how people are reacting, what is in the mind of most of those that are having a difficulty staying indoor, understanding the process of what is happening, and to an extent, resenting the fact of what is happening with this virus that many of us do not understand the nature of. How is possible that a virus has gone so out of control to invade our immune system and deteriorate it to the point of death? Whether it was created in a lab or it's spread throughout the globe, or whether there are people who are responsible for what happened or what is happening today. The truth is that we're here. And the truth is that we have to adjust to what is happening. Although it may be very difficult for most people to understand, they have lost their job, that the economic, social, and spiritual structure of the entire world is being broken due to this pandemic. And although there is hope as to what is possible if we can find a cure or something that can slow down the process of the virus once you get it in your system, there's still pondering question as to what are the side effects of this drug? What can happen if you take it? Doctors do not know the answer to that. Nobody knows. But the fact is, unless we take initiative to try something, we will not know the end result. And with the new trial of the drug that is coming out, remdesivir, many wonder, will it work? I do also wonder the fact that why are we trying it on those who are so critical? Why not try it on someone that is not so critical to see if it can stop the process of the virus infesting the body, the lungs, and the rest of the organs immediately or faster? Because if your immune system is stronger, it should be able to survive. I want to know the pros and the con. What are the controversial issues as far as the effect of someone that is advanced versus someone that is in between, in the middle? However, that is not up to me. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, but I am part of the public observing and understanding what is going on. Last night, I went online to try to figure it out and get the information as to what is this remdesivir that we are going to take. And although I don't know a lot of the terminologies, I try to understand what are the contents of it and how can that affect, in a positive or negative way, the immune system. To some extent, they help the expansion of the lungs, and to from its stand, it slows down the process of inflammation and it can help. But that we do not know. Now, let's get to the fact of immortal consciousness. As human beings, we are so connected with our physicality. We see ourselves as matter. And the fact that death happened during this event or on a normal basis scares most people. It frightens us to see that suddenly somebody is gone, that they're no longer here. And emotionally, it is tormenting because you cannot connect with that loved one. However, we are not this matter, this physical and material thing that we are so accustomed and so attached to. How do we become so attached to this material aspect of whom we are? Think of it. Child, you feel the emotions of your mother, you feel the stress, you feel the love, you feel the vibration, you feel all the senses of your mother inside the wound. Therefore, you begin to develop that attachment to those senses once you grow and you feel and you breathe and your heart is beating. Then, when we come into the world and we are born as a baby, the noises distract our emotional well being and the peace we have inside the mother's wound and begin to distract those senses of emotions that are so active that we can even hear music from outside into the womb of the mother. In other words, things begin to change and everything is dispersed and we become attached to those things that we're used to. How do we detach ourselves from the matter and material world that we live in? Not so much at a materialistic, but at the source of physicality, who we are as a physical being. Because we are not physical. Rather, we are a spiritual source being soul that evolves while we're here. And like nature, sound, art, light, and material, we connect and become one with everything. The fact is that unless we begin to understand the fact that we are not that material essence that we are surrounded by at a physical and visual level, we cannot understand the immortal consciousness. Because once we become to consciously connect to our ability of being part of a source and part of everything that is, part of God, unless we do that, we cannot understand the meaning of immortality. We do not die. What dies is the physical body. The essence of our consciousness, our spirit, and our souls remained here with everyone that we love. Let me read something to you from Life and Masters of the Parties. And it says, we cannot rise above mortal thoughts without doing the will of God. And that means that the will of God is to become one with everything. We are not here to be individuals and indulge into the visible world that apparently we think is real and is reality within us, because it's not. Immortal consciousness. The moment your consciousness arises, then a deep meaning of great spiritual is obtained, or spirituality. In other words, the spirit cannot evolve unless a deep consciousness within us arises. It's almost as you have to recognize who you are as a human being and understand that you're not a body, that that which departs the earth when we die is not whom we are. Whom you are will remain eternally. We are eternal souls. It says the following also from Life and Masters of the Far East. The one passing has not perceived that there is but one spirit, one mind, one soul, and one eternal consciousness. In other words, that emphasizes once again that we are eternal beings, that we're part of the source that created everything that exists in this universe. Because although we may create a pair of glasses, we may create a mouse for a computer, and we may create a calculator through the effect of consciousness, because unless we, as a oneness, as part of a spirit, were conscious and attuned with the source of everything that is, our thoughts could not generate from our brain to our mind to the precision of doing what we do. Life is eternal, and this is whom we are. We are eternal light that permeates forever, and we are this mortal consciousness that we create once we understand that we are not this physical body. That although emotionally is detrimental to have the feeling of loss and feel that something is missing within us, to perceive the idea as I have myself of believing that once someone that we love has died and taken our soul with them is nothing but a. You see, when I lost my three little ones, I had this feeling that something inside of me had died. I felt the death. In other words, what I did was I surrendered my spirit to the material world and stop living in the presence as part of everything that is, including the little souls that I have lost. Believe that without the material lessons of my little babies, I was nothing. I had died. And my friends, believe me, that is not true. Essence of immortal consciousness lives eternally. What is will forever be and exist in us, within us, and around us. The essence of the spirit and the love of those whom we have grown with and attach ourselves to can never depart from whom we are, because we are one within everything else. We are part of everything that is. And until we recognize that, unless we understand that, yes, we miss someone we love, and yes, they're no longer here. And the physicality of that which we accustom ourselves to or with is no longer present at a physical level, at an invisible level. They're here, they're with us, and they will forever remain with us. In the highest expression of men, or the highest expression of men, is not substance, neither matter, but the source of the soul, the spirit, and the immortal consciousness of who man is whole with everything else that exists with Him and around Him. It's almost as if we're understanding not my will, but thy will. We have to surrender and allow the process of life, of living and dying to move on so that we ourselves can learn to express ourselves in a more loving way, not in a sad manner, not in a depressed way, but in a way of understanding that it is not my will, it is the will. And once you understand that deep expression, you will understand that you haven't lost anything that you may miss, but they are with you and around you eternally. Ever heard the expression, my parents have passed on, or my beloved one has passed on, but it's looking after me? That is true. It may not be at a visual level, but the soul and the spirit is connected with you internally at a spiritual level, of whom you are as a source, and it will never, ever leave. I know that a lot of people have lost loved one, and it is difficult to fathom that it's not easy not to say goodbye to someone you love, and it's not easy to see that you didn't have that opportunity to express your love and be there when somebody needed you. But remember, it was meant to be that way for a reason that you will not understand no matter how much reasoning you try to put in, that only God knows. Whether you believe in God, source, universe, whatever you believe in, it is a transition. And we almost learn to survive this turmoil and these critical times that we're going through in order to continue to grow emotionally and at a spiritual level. Because trust me, no matter what happened, every time we see someone depart, it is sad. But we have to learn to accept the reality of what is, as difficult as it. I hope that this has helped you understand the true meaning of life, death, transition, God's will, immortal consciousness, and us all being one with the essence of everything that is. It's been a pleasure, as usual, to be here with you, to encourage you with words of encouragement if they help you. And in due time, you may want to come back to this video and listen and say, I understand now, because perhaps now may not be the right time. Thank you so much for listening. This is Francis May. Have a wonderful evening. Love and light.